Hey, my friends, I want to tell you about Prop 19 here in California. In order to explain to you the great benefits of Prop 19, I need to tell you a little bit of a story that happens in another state. I was on vacation probably 20 years ago in the state of Hawaii. We're on the island of Kauai, and we're listening to talk radio, and somebody has called in and is telling the program that they can no longer afford to stay in their property. They're going to have to sell it because the property tax values have spiked. You see, in Hawaii, they have a system called ad valorem, which means at value. The issue is that this gentleman had been in his property for generations and had a very low tax basis. But when the big boom came in Hawaii about 20 years ago, the first one, the property taxes adjusted to the new values. And all of a sudden, he had to pay way more than he ever had to. So here in California, we have something, and I'm going to get to Prop 19 in a second. We have something called Prop 13, which limits the amount of property taxes that your property can be reassessed for to only 2% a year. So it's a tremendous thing that we have. So you might have people that have owned their homes, like my home has been in my family since 1964, and it's worth more than $1.5 million, but my taxes are only $1,900 a year. Prop 13 has allowed that to happen. But a few years ago, we got something called Prop 19. Now, Prop 19, to qualify this, you have to be over 55, or you have to be disabled or a victim of a natural disaster. But by and large, people that use Prop 19 are over 55. What does it do for you? Well, let's just say, for example, let's use me, for example. I'm paying $1,900 a year for taxes. And let's say I was to sell my house for $1 million. And I go and buy another house for $1 million. I can immediately transfer over my tax basis, my $1,900 a year tax bill, even though I'm buying another $1 million home. Prop 19 allows me to do that. But Prop 19 does something else. Prop 19 allows me to increase the purchase price, not just stay at the $1 million that I sell my house for. It allows me to increase. So let's say I go from $1 million to $1.5 million. Well, I get to keep my $1,900 a year based on the first $1 million that I sell my house for. And on that extra $500,000 that I've moved up, I get reassessed just on the $500,000. So it's a real benefit for people that are planning on staying in California. And I would say to almost anybody who's thinking about moving out of state, make a phone call and find out if that state has any kind of guardrails to keep property taxes from getting out of control. Because to the best of my knowledge, and mind you, I'm a California broker, I don't know everything in other states, but to the best of my knowledge, California is the only state in the nation that has a Prop 13 type law, and certainly the only one that has a Prop 19 type law. All right, so that's the video. Thank you for watching. My name is Clinton Rosen. I'm the senior broker with 5 Star Real Estate Services. If you have questions about your real estate or your next real estate transaction, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is coming up at the end of the video. Appreciate your time. Thank you.